Please put your names and surnames and institutions in the chat so we will be informed who are joining us. And thank you again, everyone, to join us. I am Lana Karaya, the chair of ICOM Georgia. Welcome to the road to Tbilisi. In September, we will have this exciting conference of ICOM DEMHIST, ICOM MPR, ICOM Georgia and Tbilisi Museums Union. We will try our best to give you the wonderful experience in every aspect, and we will talk about it in detail during the webinar. And the first part will be devoted to all the information we want to share with you, and the second part will be the Q&A chart, where you will have the possibility to answer and to ask any questions you have about this conference, about any organization, participation, and so on. I would like to give the floor to Nini Sanadirade, General Director of Tbilisi Museums Union. Thank you.
Thank you, Lana. Dear colleagues and participants, welcome to our webinar. It's really very pleasure to be your host in Tbilisi, Georgia, and I would like to guide you in Georgia, in our beautiful city, Tbilisi, which one is the capital of Georgia. To tell you the truth, it's a really big honor to be the host, and it's very symbolic for us, our conference in September. Especially the name and the title of the conference. This is House Museums at the Crossroads. This is big symbolic meaning for us and for our country. As you know, we are looking forward to be a member of European family, which we are recently supported the last months by the European Union, and it will be the big chance for our country to have really and to show our crossroad meaning and empower social changes with our sessions, conference, and discussions in our webinar. We hope that you will have unforgettable time in our city. I would like to introduce some Tbilisi and the mapping of our conference, but let me tell you the truth, it's very difficult in the short time to show all the beauty of our country and the landscapes and heritage for this. I will try to show it now the Tbilisi for our destination place, and I'm ready to answer all the questions of the city, country, traditions, location, and this. As my colleague Lana and the chair of the Georgian ICOM said, that we are one of the hosts of our conference, Tbilisi Museums Union, which one united 9 house museums. And all our museums, you will have the chance to visit with the workshops, with different sites, but the most important it is that our house museums says the story from 19th century till today, which one is united the important signs and important meanings and historical moments of our history. I hope that everybody know where is located Georgia, Tbilisi. It's very interesting and symbolic, the place also that for the modern map of the political and political situation of the world. But I would like to prove that to travel to Georgia is very safe. We are very welcome, and the traveling in Georgia is all the time through traditions and ancient time is pleasure for everybody, and we hope that you will join also. I try to show the beauty of the city, and it's not only by the pictures it's beautiful, it's all the time that when you will see, walk, and even we promise that outside of the conference, beyond the conference sessions, you will enjoy the walking tours, the excursions, and different places. Tbilisi is located in the center of the country and divided by our nice river, and the road of Tbilisi will be nice experience to travel. Georgia is capital Tbilisi, as we mentioned, and through centuries it is the capital. With different historical moments that we have named different way. The Tiflis you can met, Tbilisi you will met, but anyway, the Mtwari is our main heart of the city, which one is divided by two. And in September, when you will come, we promise the very nice weather, very good climate, and the special time for different harvesting in the knowledge and the our traditional winery, and you will enjoy the creative arts of our country. It's very difficult really to show that all the different ideas, the modern, ancient heritage parts of Tbilisi, but I will try to uh, share our colored city, which one is very multicultural, which one is with different tradition and different culture. And we all the time they mention that Tbilisi is the crossroad of the uh, European and Asian border in the middle of the center. And all the time that crossroad word is very important for our history. So the geographical, geopolitical also. It's a nighttime, you will enjoy also that you will see the screen, how it is. And I would like to say the few words about the Tbilisi Museums Union, which will be your host on the one of the hosts of our conference. And we will share all information why all these house museums is important and why we are interested in all this in our conference and what is the main role and main mission of our museums and our main storytelling. As I mentioned, the Union of Tbilisi Museums unites 9 memorial houses belonging of the significant individuals who took part great creation of the 19th and 20th century. But during your visit, you will have the opportunity to visit other museums of our city, fine art museums of modern Georgia, the historical museums, archaeological museums, and other museums, and you will have on the list the big opportunity to choose and to enjoy it according your interests and your your wishes. I would like to share also this is some pictures of the museum's interior that you will have chance for the workshops also the visit we have with 5 places choosing of our conference workshops, and my colleagues will introduce the time frame of our conference and the places and locations. But main and the most important is when we are discussing about the Georgian culture and Georgian culture heritage as a crossroad of the city, which one comes from untouchable heritage. And you know also that everybody, I hope that the Georgian traditional winemakers king comes from ancient time, and we have in the part of the World Heritage of our special the quarry wine making, and you will enjoy during your visit of this. This is our views of the post-excursion and pre-excursion conference the tours, and you will see also the Caucasus area that outside of Tbilisi we will visit. We hope that during the conference, not only the enjoy the participation in session, but also explore the beauty and history of our beloved Georgia. Now on the screen, you see the different pictures of our country, of our city, of our different places, but it's very difficult to make all the historical roads in the short time and describe its beauty. In our multicultural city, you will find treasury of the historical cultural heritage and different experience of different traditions and centuries, and especially the culture involved. Speaking of our museums, as a host of our conference, it's very important to mention that we're waiting to share your experience, to share the knowledge you will bring for our participants, and we are waiting, we are looking forward to share all these study cases that we wait for our conference. Tbilisi has a long been celebrated for hospitality, and we hope that you will enjoy it. And our guests with open our guests will have everything, and we will do our best to have unbelievable journey and participation in our conference. We believe that the beauty of our landscapes and importance of the conference and riches of our culture inspire you during our stay. I'm ready to answer all the questions about the place, about the museums, about all. And I hope you will enjoy it, the visiting us, and welcome to our nice city and our conference. Let to answer of and to share all the beauty of our country. And Lana, thank you very much again. And for any questions, I am open.
Thank you, Nini. Now I will pass the word to Timna Selman, the chair of DEMHIST.
Thank you. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay. So first of all, thank you to Tbilisi Museums Union and to ICOM Georgia for taking on the task of hosting our annual conference. I'm sure it's going to be a very intense and interesting period, and something that we will all learn and experience from. The DEMHIST annual conference is a chance for us to learn, explore, network, and share our own knowledge and experience in more formal lecture environments, off-site visits, and casual conversations, as can be seen in this group of images over here. Lots of people from the back, but I'm sure many people can recognize who we all are. Although in-person attendance always allows us a wider and more meaningful experience, we do what we can to include our remote attendees as well, as much as we can to make them feel included in the conference. This year's conference theme, in collaboration with MPR and with the Tbilisi Museum Union and ICOM Georgia, is House Museums at the Crossroads. How do we empower social change? I'm not going to read through the whole call for paper and theme, because we all have it on our on the website. But it's important for us to understand why this is the subject. Why are we looking at this topic? And it's very much, if we look at the world of museums today, we can see that museums are at a crossroads. We are at a point when we are having to look, and it's everything from national galleries, art museums, science and natural history museums, as well as house and community museums. We're facing a challenge today. We're looking at the way that the world is changing, and we can see it in the new definition of the ICOM museum definition as well. A change of focus from collections and history to community and out. Our museums and collections, and this is what we are looking for over here. It's a focus of community, on communication, mediating, reflecting changing values in society. So how do we as house museum professionals need to take this into account as we move forward? The crossroads is the past and the future, the ivory tower museum theory versus community outreach, physical collections and the cost of structural and object conservation and maintenance versus community outreach, versus a sustainable future. All of these and more place us at a crossroads, powered by social change. How do we embrace this? How do we continue to be the custodians of the past as we interpret it and safeguard it for the future? This is why we are happy to have MPR with us in this conference. Their different perspective and expertise complements the need to communicate the House Museum's message and our narratives, how to reach new audiences and how to remain relevant. The call for paper contains 3 sub-themes. The first, from house to community, House Museums at the service of society. In this sub-theme, we are looking at the way the House Museum relates to and interacts with the surrounding community, whether it be physical or digital. Underserved communities, accessibility, education, and interpretation. And we can see an example of this is the Tenement Museum in New York City, which has part of their website explore stories where people, members of the community, bring in objects and use these objects to create the narrative of the community that the Tenement Museum is based on. The second sub-theme, the Activist Museum, House Museums advocating for social causes, is how do we use the tools that we learn in the narratives of our House Museums to foster awareness and action on current social and environmental issues. This is critical for inspiring social change and for understanding how to embrace the social change. Its representation of women's rights, gender equality, LGBTQ+ rights, religious freedom. An example of this is the Jane Addams House, which is a house dedicated to female empowerment from the start of the 20th century in Chicago, who are doing, in the image that we can see here, doing community outreach with young offenders and recently released youth from prison systems. The third sub-theme is Welcome to Our House, Leadership and Management Accessibility in House Museums. How do you build your values and attitudes? Are you a public institution or a private one? How does this affect your programming and policies? Do you have more than one site? The example of such a place is the Frida Kahlo Museum, which has the museum, it has the gardens, it has the Blue House, and how accessible are they in both physical and remote ways to actually attract and work with the audience. As we mentioned at the beginning, there are travel grants for the conference. DEMHIST has 2 available travel grants. All the details can be found on our website over here. The ICOM Young Member Travel Grant is a maximum of €1,200 up to 35 years of age, and the DEMHIST Jean Watson Bursary, supporting young professionals of historical house museums, is limited to €1,000 and up to the age of 40. Please note that the deadline is May 31st, and we will be placing a preference on people who will be presenting papers and taking an active role in the conference, as well as members from category 3, 4, and 5. Any questions about any of this can obviously be placed in the chat, or you can be, if it's DEMHIST related, please be in touch with Cecilia Casas, our secretary, or with me, or via the conference website, where Lana and Nini are able to coordinate between ICOM DEMHIST and ICOM MPR. So thank you very much. I'm going to pass on to Deborah from MPR to give a little explanation about the special spice that MPR will be bringing to the conference.
Deborah, you should unmute.
Okay, one more time. Good morning, everybody from Washington, D.C. The sun is just rising on a gray and rainy morning, but it's shining where we are this morning. Here we are. So if you all can see my slide, good, great. So welcome from the International Committee for Marketing and Public Relations. We're looking forward to our annual conference in Tbilisi, Georgia. I love that skyline. If you can see our board members, say yes. Yes, you can. Okay, great. Okay, that's me in the upper left when I had long hair. I find short hair easier now. To my right, on the upper right hand side of your screen, is Anastasia Bellasiotti. I think she's with us this morning from Italy. She is our Secretary Treasurer. In the bottom right, Anna Dentoni, who is also with us, I believe, from Italy, from Genoa. And in the lower left is Natia Kulazari, who is, I think, has a new job in Tbilisi, but she will be joining us hopefully later on. And in the middle, on the bottom there, is Luis Marcelo Mendez from Brazil. So we're working on our strategic professionals in communications, community engagement, fundraising, and marketing, in which members see themselves represented and become engaged in collaborative programming that's relevant to their professions, their institutions, and their communities. One of our goals is to cooperate with other international committees, national committees, regional associations, to amplify that vision and our goals as they intersect across the spectrum of museum specialties, such as historic houses, historic house museums, but also institutional leadership, education, exhibition development, exchange, et cetera. So everybody in the museum profession communicates. So we're here for everybody. And one of the ways we want to achieve our goals is by creating value for our partners. And you are our partners, ICOM Georgia, Tbilisi Museums Union, and DEMHIST, and everybody who comes to the conference. So we're hoping to create value for our partners by communicating knowledge and trends in all aspects of museum communications, community engagement, fundraising, and marketing. And that's the direction that we're coming to this conference from. So again, we're very happy to be with our partners. Okay, for some reason, okay, I'm frozen, okay.
Deborah?
Hello, yes. For some reason, my computer has frozen this morning. So what I can try to do, I can't get out of this slide, so I can talk, I suppose.
Can we stop sharing your slide? It may restart you.
Yes, you can stop, if you can stop sharing, yes, that might be a good idea.
Lana, I think you have to do this. Well, now I will say that anyone who is interested in collaborations between DEMHIST and MPR on papers, feel free to reach out to us via email in the chat over here. We can maybe try to pair people up if we know the subjects that you are interested in. We will also see it if you make a proposal on your own. We may see someone making a proposal from one of the other committees that we feel that you would work well together to develop the idea for the proposal. So all of these are options that are open to you. This is answering Carolyn Mwenda's question that was in the chat.
Well, unfortunately, I cannot stop sharing if it won't be made by Deborah. Okay.
So maybe we carry on for now with the with the programming and important dates, and then you can come back to
Yes,
them. She
I see.
recharges.
Yes. Mhm. So we will share with you some important dates regarding the conference. As far as you already know, the deadline for sending the call for papers is 25th of April, Paris time, and the key dates you see on the screen. We will open on May 31st, the submission deadline will open for the conference grants, and my colleagues were talking about the grants. And on May 15th, we will send the notification about the acceptance of the proposal for the conference. And then see, here you'll see, can you see the screen? Yeah.
Sure.
Just a moment. Okay. And we will open the registration. The first early bird registration will be ended by July 15th, and there will be the ordinary booking rates, and the last booking, registration date will be September 15th. And we have, I will open now the provisional program for you to show how the conference program will be led through the days. On 24th of September, we will have the first registration will be opened on site, and we will have 4 workshops in different places, in different museums, where what Nini showed us now. And on 25th, the official opening will be of the conference, and the session days will be 26th and 27, and on 27th we will have half day the conference, and the second day, half of the day will be for the off-site tours. And we will have this option to visit multiple sites, multiple museums during the day, and we will end 27th of September with a gala dinner then, and so on. On 28th of September, we will have again the one session in the morning, and we'll wrap up the session. And from 2 p.m. Georgia time, the DEMHIST General Assembly will take the place, and possibly the MPR General Assembly. And in the evening, we will offer the walking tour through the old city. 29th of September is a post-conference tour. We have 2 optional tours. One of the option is Tbilisi, Ujarma, Shuamta, Tsinandali. You see here, and all the information will be put on the website. We have the conference website on ICOM Georgia section, but all the information which we will put on our website will be also spread on DEMHIST, MPR, and Tbilisi Museums Union websites and social networks. And the second option is Tbilisi, Mtskheta, Gori, Uplistikhe, and back to Tbilisi. It is a Kartli region. So we have 2 options for the conference tour. It's East and Kartli region. So this is a provisional program which we will put on the website. And if Deborah is back, I will stop now sharing my screen and will give the floor again to her. And then I will be back again with some important information about the registration. Deborah?
Okay. Yes, I'm back. How are you? Sorry, my computer had to restart, of course. So as I was talking about it, we're very happy to be coming. Our theme of historic house museums are everywhere. So we thought this was a good time for us to dive in, to see how we can use our our areas of our professions to relate to house museums, which are everywhere we go. We share the vision with DEMHIST that historic house museums can continue to evolve and partner to play a more vital role in catalyzing social change today. And we want to remind all of our MPR members, you don't have to be working at a house museum to make a proposal and to participate in the conference. So if you go to our website, you will find our call for proposals for MPR. There are 3 sub-themes that Timna told us about earlier. And for MPR members, we're saying from museum to community for the first sub-theme, house museums and museums at the service of society. So if you come from a museum and you're doing something fabulous in terms of serving your community in the service of society. And one example I'm going to give is what I consider to be one of the gold standards in the world today. And it's Parque Explorer Science Center in Medellin, Colombia. You can go to their website. For instance, they are doing everything. I first learned about them when they were part of a huge collaboration in the middle slide, where they turned together, with all the other collaborators, they turned the city's largest garbage dump into what is today now a verdant paradise where they have sustainable gardens. They have a community hothouse that's run by a women's cooperative that makes nutritional food for the community. And they're extremely successful. And over the right, they have expanded territory programs in communities so that children, teenagers, even parents learn about the world outside of their neighborhood, outside of their barrio. They can dream big dreams. So that's just a few of the types of things that we would like museums, our people who engage in their communities, with their communities in new ways, new and exciting ways, who listen to their communities. That's what we're looking for in terms of proposals from museum to community. The second sub-theme, the activist museum, house museums and museums advocating for social causes. And a great example of this is the Slovak National Gallery in Bratislava, Slovakia. They have done a lot of work in engaging in new conversations and inclusivity with staged encounters. And they've instigated debate about interpretations of East European art and art history. And if you know something about that, it delves into communism, all of the, how the art history reflects the history of the people and what that means to them today. And they also invite artists to explore themes such as homosexuality and gender equality. So you can go to their website and see some of the examples, and that's the kind of thing that we're looking for in terms of how museums are advocating for social causes. We're looking at who our audiences are, and we're inviting them in to have a voice in our museums. Managing accessibility in house museums and museums in all kinds of ways. And I think, Serge, if you're here, maybe you can just speak up. The Felix Art and Eco Museum in Dogenbos, Belgium. So I don't know, Serge, the director of that museum. Hello? Yes.
Yes, I am here. Hello.
Would you like to say something?
No, well, just really nice to be showcased. And I already had given a first glimpse into what we are doing during a DEMHIST conference, and last year also to the MPR. So it would be always good to do a follow-up, since we are really progressing, involving more and more together with the communities.
So I think the transformation that he's talking about is something I think it's very fascinating. I think what we're talking about, so we're going to have an appointment next week and talk more about it, and maybe we can design a panel or a workshop for the conference. But I think that what we call in the United States, we're going to look at the sausage making. How do you work with your board? How do you work with the different, to really make your museum a center, a place, we can call it the third place. If we have 3 places in our life, we have our homes, we have our schools and workplaces, and museums could be our third place, the place where the community is welcome. That's a place where you can go and feel welcome, like it's your third place in your life, something like that.
Yes, exactly. So going from an art museum to combine this with the community museum involves a lot of governance changes that, of course, not always go as fast as possible as you would like to, because it's a lot of cultural diplomacy that is being needed. So in that sense, it's a long part, and specifically, I think that this kind of international congress feeds our thoughts on how to deal with problems that might be similar and already resolved in other places.
And then we'd love to add to that in terms of how marketing and fundraising, membership, all those things can play a role in communications, social media as well. So and we look forward to that. And if anybody thinks they would like to work with us, perhaps on a workshop or a panel on this topic, let me know. My email is in the chat box. So we are announcing our travel grants this morning. I think we should up the amount next year, but we offer up to 600 euros. We offer 5 travel grants. 2 of those will go to members under 40 years, and you can apply online. It's on the homepage of our website. We're announcing it today. And some of these on the bottom right are some of our travel grantees in Prague. And on the left, you see our travel grantees last year from Mexico, Chile, Burkina Faso, and Brazil, who are with us in Paraguay. And if you go to our YouTube channel, we have videos of them talking about their experiences at our conference. So that's something that we require of all of our travel grantees. And we find it's a great way to for them to share their experiences. A year ago, in October of last year, we did a workshop with ICOM and ICOM Mexico in Mexico City. There were 30 attendees from 12 countries. And Luis Marcelo Mendez, our board member, was one of the co-trainers. You can see him right here. And they gave us a 97% excellent 5-star rating. And that's because of how the workshop was done. It was extremely participatory, empathetic. It talked about, everybody listened to each other. And it was all about community. It was the experiences that they had in this workshop that gave it such a rating. And so I'm happy to announce that we got a SARIC grant, and we're going to do MPR Workshop Tour 2024. We're going to take it on the road from Mexico to Genoa, Italy, and to Tbilisi, Georgia on September. So it'll be a pre-conference workshop for 2 days for 30 participants who want to improve their knowledge of what we call the radical transformation in museums. And that started with our new definition of museums and during COVID, of course. But this we're going to talk about how you can develop critical thinking about verbal, nonverbal, visual, behavioral, structural, and historic elements, all in 2 days, that contribute to the understanding that everything in a museum communicates. There will be debate themes, what we call radical listening, group activities, team assignments, pre and post-conference steps, and digital certification. So we hope that we'll be announcing this soon, the registration for the conference, and we hope to get 30 very interested and excited participants. So I hope that everybody will join ICOM MPR and DEMHIST in Tbilisi, make a proposal by the 25th of April, apply for a travel grant, register for the workshop, register, attend, and you can follow MPR across our website. You can get our e-newsletter and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Thank you very much. I'll stop sharing.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you very much. Now, I will share the information about the registration fees, and some questions were asked in the chat and also answered in the chat. So if you have any other questions, please put in the chat. We have still 30 minutes left until we finish. And please raise your hands if you want to ask your questions in person. So we will have 2 types of registration. This is important information. We have in-person attendance, and we have the remote attendance. And you see the registration fees on the screen and what is included in the registration fee which we provide. So this is remote attendance. Now, I think everybody agrees that we should go to the Q&A section. Still, it is a few time left, but if you have any questions, please ask us about the participation, registration, and any other details you want to hear about the conference. And again, we are really looking forward to welcome you to Tbilisi and to make your experience wonderful and unforgettable. So I will look now into the chat, and I will ask my colleagues also watch the screen if someone raise their hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carolyn Miranda has her hand raised.
Okay. Please, Carolyn. Yes, and about the visa assistance and some any other assistance to access Georgia, and actually regarding all the details about this, I already put in the chat that you can write us to the ICOM Georgia email and also ask the questions here. Carolyn?
Perfect, Lana. That was what I was going to ask about, because last year in Paraguay, it was difficult getting a visa. So if you could help with all the visa requirements, and if we have to do any in-person applications, there are countries like ours where there isn't a representative here, so we'll have to figure out how to get a visa.
Yeah, so the important thing is to get started early. So Carolyn, so great to see you this morning. So if ICOM Georgia, our friends in Georgia can help her in any way very early on.
Yeah, sure. Please send the letter via emails and we will try our best to help you. Yes, Tiovic, please.
Okay, thank you. I'm DEMHIST Vice Chair. I was just consulting Timna because we had a similar problem last year. I want to just raise awareness that we should think about maybe putting non-ICOM categories 1, 2, 3, 4, because for example, for Belgrade, we had the keynote from Ghana, Mr. Kojo David, and his colleagues were not at ICOM, were not members of ICOM, and non-ICOM fee was really, really high for them. So I'm just, this is a suggestion to consider for ICOM Georgia and for MPR to maybe comment on that. But I'm for non-ICOM member to become non-ICOM member 1, 2, 3, 4 as well. That's all. Thank you.
Deborah, Timna, do you want to answer this question?
Yes, I think we can certainly look at it if budget-wise we are able to say non-ICOM members can also be divided into area 1 and 2 and area 3 and 4. I think this is what you're saying. So by the time registration actually opens, the registration grid will be finalized. There may still be changes by that time. So let's put it that way. I would also like to say in response to Carolyn, and this is also relating to issues that we had last year with the Belgrade conference. If you are having issues with visa applications, please be in touch with Lana, with me, with Deborah as soon as possible, as soon as registration opens, so that we can prepare official letters of invitation that you can take to the embassies that you need to prove that you have been accepted to a conference and that you're being officially invited. Okay? And obviously we will do everything we can to facilitate attendance, but because embassies work very slowly, we need to get working on this as soon as possible.
Thank you. Any more questions? I'm just looking in the chat, maybe we have missed any questions, me personally, and I will ask my colleague if there is anything, just notify me. Yes, Anne
yes.
Bennett, please.
Please.
Anne?
Anne Bennett, please, you can ask the question.
Perhaps she's muted. I don't know. Ann Bennett is from Laurel, Maryland in the United States. So, she's one of MPR's members. Let's see her. This one.
English, please.
English.
But you are muted, please unmute yourself and maybe she's going to put the question in the chat. I think so.
I'm sorry, I'm on my earbuds. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yes.
you now.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. Very excited to hear what's been presented so far. Yeah, my question was related to what I put in the chat. I know English is the conference language, but in terms of getting around in Georgia, do most people speak English or Russian or Georgian? What is preferable depending on, I guess age and, just interactions.
So I think she was just asking, when you going around Georgia, which he's intending to do, English should be fine. Most people, most
Yes.
Georgians speak English, right?
And our conference is also bilingual, English Georgian.
But if you're on your own, walking around or traveling around Georgia, English will be fine. She also speaks Russian, but I don't know. English will probably be fine. Yeah, okay.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't want to, presume or offend people if I, was able to speak a different language or how to communicate.
Well, I think it will be a very interesting time. And I think in terms of Georgia, as we know, is at its own crossroads, a very serious political crossroads right now. If we watch 60 Minutes here in the United States, you've seen several programs about what is happening, and we know that you're right next door to Russia. So, and it's just before your election. So this will be a very interesting time for our conference and to see democracy in action in Georgia. And we'd love to be able to witness some of that going on while we're there. It's a very important time, a very important crossroads. And that's one of the reasons I have to say why I personally want to be there right now to support you, to support Georgia at this time. So I think that's one of the things ICOM can do. So thank you for this opportunity for hosting us at this very busy time.
Thank you very much. If there is no question, of course, we can close this session. Again, thanks everyone for joining us, and we hope that we provide just this general information about the conference. Yes, Timna, please, and then I will conclude the session.
Sorry to break in just as things are finishing. I just want to relate to what Carolyn was discussing in the chat about joint proposals. I just want to say this again. This is why we are doing a joint conference. We really want to see how members of DEMHIST with their perspective can work with members of MPR with their perspective. Sergio is the perfect example of this because he has a foot in both the committees already. But really, so reach out to us, see if we can pair people up. And we are all very excited to see where the discussions will go. I think for all of us, this is a very exciting blending of two committees, which are theoretically and seemingly very, very different. But I'm sure we have many, many places that we are dealing with similar issues and where the backgrounds and the experience of DEMHIST members, of historical house professionals are so very different of those of the MPR members. But I think that in the end, we all are all dealing with the new museum world and the issues that we are all dealing with. And that so hopefully this conference will really be a fertile discussion and will open up collaborations across the board beyond the conference. This is what we're all hoping for.
Thank you, Timna. Thank you very much. We will send
Thank you.
all the information and all the updates. We have your email addresses, we have your information, contact information, and we will update you with all the information we will put on the conference website. Thank you very much. We are really perfectly on time. And if you have, again, any questions, please get in touch with us. You have our contact email and all the contact information from MPR and the DEMHIST. So thank you once again and see you in Tbilisi.
So I think, okay. Thank you very much for coming today. We look forward to hearing from you very soon. We'll be in touch. See you in Tbilisi. See you on the road to Tbilisi.